Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Hari ini kita akan buat satu apps yang baru, yang mana kita akan sambungkan apps kita kepada database ya. Hari ini kita akan buat kita akan guna database SQLite. Okay, so I've already created the apps, my Android training registration apps. Right, so let me get rid of this first. Okay, so this app is to record training registration. So when we have a training, we want to record details of the participants. You can use these apps. Okay, so the first one we're going to add edit text. Okay. Second one, and third. All right. So basically, I want user to insert their name, their email address, and their contact number. Okay. Let me edit this first. Okay. So just going to put it in. Okay. So ed name. Right. Second one is email, or you can use this one. Email, right? Email and phone. Right? So just put it ed email and ed phone. Right, and edit the in. Okay, email. And phone. Phone number. Alright. So we just delete the text here. Okay. Alright. Okay. And we're going to add a button. For user to save. Okay, for user to save the information. Okay, let's name it BTN save, right? So the text will be saved. Okay. So let me put it a little bit higher. Up here. Okay. Right. Okay. And let me put in list view, right? So in this, when the user save, it will appear inside the list view, right? Okay. Right. Put some space. Okay. Right. Okay. So now let's create a model. Using the Java coding. Okay. So new Java class. Okay. So participant model. Okay. All right. So it is a class. Okay. Participant model. Okay. We're going to use the model class to get details from participants, get details and set details of the participant, and then pass it into the database. Okay. So basically, we're going to use something like MVC. MVC is model, view, and controller. So the participant model would be the model. Okay. Main activity and activity main would be the view. Okay. Then we need another one to act as a controller. Okay. So let's create another one. New Java class. Okay, I would call this DB helper. Okay, because we're going to use the DB helper to add the model inside the database. All right. Okay. So let's create a participant model. So what we're going to put inside here is the first one is obviously we need an ID. Okay, ID so that we can increment our record inside the database. Okay. Second one will be name. Okay, private string name. The third one will be email address. Okay, using string. So email. Um, sorry again. Following the naming convention, you should put it in the lower capital. All right. Another one is the phone number, right? So the phone number we use integer phone, right? Phone number. Okay. So for this all attributes, we're going to create a setter and getter. Okay. Setter and getter. So you just select all and right click, and then we generate. You can generate setter and getter so that we can set the ID, we can get the ID, and so on and so forth. All right. So you select all, and then you click OK, and then it will be automatically generated for you. Right. Like this place here. So you just put it back up here. Okay. Okay. So next, we're going to create a constructor. So let's create two constructor. Okay, generate. The first one is okay. This is a constructor. The first one will be the default constructor or empty constructor. So select none, and we're going to generate another one, and we're going to add all the attribute as the parameters. Okay, so just click there, and it will be auto generated. And lastly, we're going to create a toString method. Just generate toString method so that you can get the value that we are setting inside the model. Okay, so let's create a toString and select all. So we want to view all the attributes value inside here. Okay, so you just call it here, and it will be appear. This is more like for testing. Okay, all right. After that, we're going to DB helper class, okay, to create a SQL connection to the SQLite. Okay, the first thing we want to do is to extend this class using the SQLite Open Helper. Okay, so this is a class that you want to extend, right? So when you extend the class, you get an error. Okay, just click on the red light bulb and then implement methods, because the SQL Open Helper require you to implement the methods of the superclass. Okay, so implement the methods. Okay, click all the two methods that we want to implement. The first method is onCreate, And the second one is on upgrade. On create, basically, when we create a connection to the database, we want to check whether the table is already created or not. If not, we're going to create a database, the table. Okay. All right. So on upgrade is basically if you have two version of a database, then you will choose whether you want to choose the old version or the new version of the database. So for this exercise, we're not going to use this, but you still need to override the method. All right. Okay. So let's see. This already. Okay. So another one, you have to create a constructor matching the super. Just click here. Right. So just click either one. We're going to edit that later. All right. So okay. So for the constructor, we're going to edit the constructor first. Okay. I just want to let the context. Okay. So the first one, the context is the context of the implementation of this DB helper class. Okay. So the name would be the name of the database. Okay, the name of the database that you want to create. Okay, so you can put in a suitable name. Okay, so that you can get this. You can put the suitable name such as training, maybe training.db, okay, or anything that related. Okay, factory, we're just going to put now and version. This is since this is new, so we just put in the first version. Okay. All right. So that's it for the DB helper constructor. Right. So inside the on create, we have to create the statement to create a table. Okay, and then we want to execute the statement. Okay. So we put in the statement, create statement table, create table statement inside the string. Okay, so here you just put SQL statement. All right. So what is the SQL statement? So create table. So create table, and then the table name. So I'll give you a name table participant. Okay, participant. Right. Create table participant. Okay, and then put in the ID. Okay, ID integer, primary key. So the ID will be the primary key, and it will have auto increment. Okay. All right. After that, put in a comma. Okay, I'll put down here because it's already too long. And then put in the column. So what is the column? You just refer to the participant model. So the first one will be name, email, and phone number. All right. So put in the column underscore name, right? And what is the type? Text. Okay. Column email, also text. Okay. And column phone number. Phone number. Maybe we put in a number. Okay, so this is the create table statement, but I want to create a constant so that it will be more appropriate. Okay, so just right click here, create, double click, table participant, right click here, and we're going to extract. Okay, where is the extract? Refactor, and then extract method. Okay, so sorry, right click, refactor, introduce constant. Okay, refactor, introduce constant. So the constant is string table participant. Just put it. Okay, all right, and then ID. We do the same for the ID. Okay, refactor, introduce constant. Okay, maybe put in column ID. Column ID. Okay, okay. Column name. Refactor, constant. Email. And then phone number. Right. Okay, so we already create our create table statement. All right, now we're going to execute. So you can use the SQL database object. We name it db to execute this statement. Okay, so db dot exec SQL and then put in the string. All right, create table statement. Okay, so that's it for the db helper. All right, okay. So now let's go to the main activity to design our input and output. So we want to get the input from the edit text and then click the button save. So obviously we need a click listener, on click listener, and then display it inside the list view. All right. So first one I would do is to declare all the view, okay, or widget inside the layout. Okay, so let's just declare that. So we have edit text, ed name, edit text, ed email, edit text, ed phone number. All right, so we have button, we can save. All right, and then we have list view. Okay, list view, okay, LV display. Right. Okay, so clear the ID, name, equal to find view by ID. Right. Okay. Email ID. ED phone number, find view by ID, r.id dot ed for you, right? And declare the button, see, find view by ID, r.ed dot detail, save, and lastly list view. Okay. LV display. I think our list view is still, I haven't given the ID for the list view. Okay, so let's declare it. So LV display, right? So just call it and view by ID r.id dot LV display, right? Okay, that's it for the declaration. Then we set a listener here. So button save dot set on click listener new on click listener. Alright, so when the user click here, then it will appear inside this. Okay, so when user click here, we want to call the model, the participant model class in order to set the input to the model so that the model can pass it to the DB helper. Okay, so let's create a participant model class. Okay, so participant model, right, equal to, I'll just create a model first. Okay, so new participant model. New participant model. Right, so we put in the ID. And then name, default name, email, and phone number. So this one we going to get it from here. Okay, so the ID will be native one, string name. You can get it from the ed name. Okay, so you just put the ed name dot get text dot to string, right? Then we have this. Okay, for email. Okay, so ed email dot get text dot to string, right? Ed phone number dot get text dot to string, right? Okay, what have I done wrong? Integer string. Oh, so we need to convert this into the integer. So just integer dot parsed in, right? And then put it all inside the, yeah. Okay, so now we have created the participant model. Okay, and then set the constructor and put it the value that we get from the user inside the constructor. Okay, all right, but there's a problem here because if we involve with input and output, we must use try and catch, so that the error will be catched. So let's separate first the light bulb. Okay, splits into declaration and assignment. So this one I'm going to put inside the try catch, right? So try here, catch here. Okay, let's just put it generalized section. Okay, so if you want to view the exception, just put a toast or log D maybe we create a log.d. Okay, so error in on click. Okay, button enter, and then just e.toString so that we get the error description here. Okay, let's try this. First, I'm going to make a toast here so that we can view our data. Okay, so we're going to. So this is the context. So I will use this, or can use main activity dot this because we are using the cite the main activity. Okay. All right, and then what is the message? Okay, success. Okay, so I'm going to put in the participant models .toString so that we can view what is the data that we're going to insert inside the database. Okay, right, and then the length of the toast dot length, sorry, toast dot length short, and then we have to show it, otherwise it's meaningless to do this. All right, okay, let's run it. Okay, that's it. Boom. 0 and 3 unit something like that. Okay, and then click save. So success. Okay. Let's click it again. So you can see it. Email Abu. Or I just make it a longer. Okay. Just run it again. All right. So Abu, put in Abu. Okay. It's okay. Abu at gmail.com and 01 something something. Okay. So when you save it, okay, you can see Abu, email Abu, okay, phone number is equal to what we put it in here. Okay, and then we're going to the next phase where we're going to add this inside the database, SQLite database using DB Helper class. Okay, so first we need a statement to add all the participants inside the database. Okay, so we need to create a method. Okay, so public boolean because we want to know whether after we add whether it is successful or it's failed. Okay, so we just put boolean here. So add one participant. Okay, Okay, so what we want to receive is the participant model. All right. Okay. So it's error because we did not return. So we just put it written through. Okay, after this, we're going to edit this. All right. Okay. So the first one, what we're going to do is create an instance of SQLite database. Okay, SQLite database, so that we can open the database and make it writable. So create a database and get a writable database. Get writable database. Okay, so that we can write inside it. If we just reading, we're going to get the readable database. Okay, and then we're going to create a content values, okay, to hold the contents and to insert the content into the database. Okay, so let's create the content values. Okay, equal to new content values. All right. Okay, and then we just put in the content values dot put put is similar like what we doing in intent before, where we use put string, put in, then and others. Okay, so what we're going to put, so the first one is the column, is the column name. Okay, column name. So put inside the column name. Okay, what we want to put, so using the participant model class, participant model object, so get name. Okay, that's how we pass from the model into the database. So let's do for the rest. But put call email as the model dot get email. Okay, values dot put call phone number. Okay, pass the models dot get phone number. All right. So after that, we're going to insert into the database. So we're going to use the object DB that we have declared here. So DB object DB dot insert. Okay, DB dot insert. What we want to insert is basically the content values inside the student table. Okay, so as you can see, the first parameters or argument is the table name. Okay, and then the null column height and the content values. So let's put in the table name. Table name will be the table participant. So table participant. Okay. Let's just put the null in the null column height, and then put in the content values. Same as how we pass the intent object to the next page. Okay. All right. So after this, we want to test whether the insert operation is successful or not. So you just click the light bulb here, introduce a local variable. Okay. So all right, long insert. So we're going to test whether this insert equal to true or not. Okay. So if the db.insert is returning other than 1, it will be false. Okay, or if it's written -1, it will be false, and otherwise it will be true. All right, so let's do that. Try insert equal to -1. It's -1. We're going to return false, else I will return true. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's not try if. Okay. Okay, so it's written true, right? So let's test that. But first we need to call add participant inside the main activity. Okay, let's do that. So inside the set on click listener, we need to put in the add one participant method. Okay, so we need to declare first. Okay, so let's declare it db helper. Okay, db helper equal to new db helper. Okay, so we need to declare the context of the calling method. Okay, so main activity dot is, okay, because we declared here the constructor. Okay, we need to put in the context. Okay, and then we need to call the method. So db helper dot add one participant. Okay, right? Db helper add one participant. Okay, so let's not forget to add the model. So participant model. Okay, had not been initialized. Let's initialize it. Okay. Okay. And then okay, let's try this, and then we're going to see whether it is added inside the database or not. All right. So let's say abu at gmail.com 0123456. Okay, then click save. All right, that's mean maybe we have some error. Okay, let's see the error. What is the error? Create table. I think something wrong with the SQLite. That's it. Okay, create table, column ID, participant. Okay, you need to have space. Before this, you have to have space. Okay. Teacher, primary key. Okay. So this need to be teacher. Okay. Right. Anything else is missing? I think six. Instead, let's run it again. Oh yes, we need to close the parenthesis. Okay, let's try to run it again. Okay, let's test it. abu@gmail.com. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then save. All right. So how do we know that the data has been inserted into the database? Okay. So let's use the device file explorer to find the database inside the apps. Okay, so click data. Okay, so find your application package name. So my package name would be my Android training. Okay, com.example things here. My application, my Android training. All right. Okay, so click databases. So we have the training DB. Okay, this is the training DB. So you just copy it or you save first. Okay, save as, because if we view it in here, it will be locked. So we need to copy first and then we view. So I just want to copy this to the desktop. All right. Okay. So to view this, you need to have an application to view the SQLite database. Okay, so right click here. Okay, right click here. Open it. Okay, show apps. So I've already installed DB browser for SQLite. You can also download it from internet. Okay, so this one can view the SQLite. Okay, let's open it. Okay, now we can view the database structure. So we have created the table participant. So let's view the data. So this is the data that we insert inside the application just now. All right, that proves that the application can run and can add something into the database. Okay, now what we want to do is when we save it, we want it to appear inside the list view. All right, so how to do that? Okay, first we have to create a new method inside the DB helper. So this one is to add participant, and we have to create a new method to view all the participants. Okay, so you can create a public get all parties, right? So using this method, we want to get all the participant requests from the database and then return it into a list view. So we need to return a list. So we create a list of type participant model. All right. To enter. Okay. So let's first declare a list for us to return. So list participant. Sorry, list yes, participant model. Then participant model list. Okay. Equal to new. I'm going to use array list so that our list is dynamic, right? Okay, so we just have to return this participant model list to the calling method after this. All right, so first we create a query string, same like the on create. We have to have a SQL statement, query string, query string. So just selecting all, select all from table participant, right? So you just want to create all the data that have been inserted inside the participant table, right? So after that, we have to create a SQL database object db equal to this dot get readable because we just want to read. We do not want to write into the database, right? After that, we have to create a cursor. Okay, cursor in Android is like a result set. So if you are familiar with working with database before, when you query a database, you have to put it inside a result set, and then after that, only you can display it to the application or the calling method. All right. So db dot raw query. So just put in the query string set here, and for the argument, the string array argument, we just put in now. Right. Okay. So after we query, and then the query will give back we return the result into the cursor, and then we have to loop through the cursor. Okay, loop through the cursor, and then put it one by one inside the participant model list. All right. So before that, we have to check first if the cursor is not empty. So cursor move to first. Okay, we check the first item inside the cursor. If it exists, then we're going to loop it. Okay, so let's use do while. Right, do first, then while. So, what is the what is the condition that we want to test here is while the item is still there, we still want to look. Okay, so we have to check the next item. Move to next. All right. Okay. And then so we get the ID first. Okay, integer participant participant ID, okay, equal to cursor dot get in, right? So in basically our integer is ID is the first one, okay, so the index is 0, right? And then second one is column name, email, and phone number. So we just create string name, okay, equal to cursor dot get string, index 1, then string email, cursor dot string 2, and then so integer phone, phone, okay, cursor dot get in. So right, so we have already get it one by one, okay. And then what we want to do is put it inside the model, okay. So we have to instantiate a participant model, okay. Participant model equal to new participant model, right? And then just put in the ID, name, email, and phone, right? Participant ID, name, email, and phone. Okay. After that, we're going to add the model into the list that we have created before. Okay, so participant list, model list dot add, then we add the participant model. Okay, this one. All right. So then after we add the model inside the list, and then we're gonna return the list. Right? And then or else just put it empty because we're not going to do anything here. And then we have to close the database, of course. Okay. Oh, before I forgot, we also have to close the cursor of the result set. All right. Okay. So now, where are we going to call this? We're going to call this inside the main activity. Okay. So let's just put it in the onCreate method, so that when the activity is created, we automatically call the list inside the database. All right. Okay. So to do that, we have to declare a DB helper, right? DB Helper. Okay. So let's declare DB Helper here. DB Helper. All right. So here we just gonna call the get all participant. All right. Oh, before that, we haven't add the list inside the list view. Okay. We have to create something to add here. Okay. So to do that, we create a array adapter, right? Okay. New array adapter. Okay. Participant model. Right. Okay. So the context should be main activity dot this. And then the second value would be what layout. So we're going to use sample layout that already created by Android. So anything you can use. I just choose a simple list item one. Right, and then we call the DB helper, right? DB helper dot get all participant, right? And then okay. Need to create a readapter. Readapter. Okay. Like this. Okay. Or you can put it as participant readapter. Okay, like that. Okay. So I'm going to cut this. Okay, put it down so that get a cleaner view. Okay, and then put the array adapter inside the list view dot set adapter. So participant array adapter. Okay, let's test it. Okay, you counted some error. Let's check the error. Okay, what is the error? It would be able to get all participant on null object reference. Okay. Check here. Okay, let's see what is the error. Error adapter, discipline adapter, discipline model. Okay, main activity dot this. Okay, I think we need to initialize the DB helper. because we just created the DB helper. We haven't initialized it. So we just initialize DB helper equal to new DB helper. So put in the context. Right, I hope so. It's working now. Let's try this. Okay, it's working, but it has some error with the layout. We need to fix the error first. Okay, let's see what's the error. Okay, we just put a we see the code. Right, list view constraint top to bottom of. Okay, we just put in some margin. Hopefully can be viewed beautifully. Right. Okay. Okay, still the same. Just put it here. And then okay, let's try that. Alright, so now it's working. So let's add another. Let's see. Ashmet. Okay. Ashmet at gmail.com. Okay. 2233. Alright, save. Okay. Success. Okay, when we click save, it's not appear here because we just put inside the on crate. So we need also to have this code inside the button save dot set on click. So it's better that we put it inside method, a new method, and then we can call it here and also call it here. Okay, so let's do that. So first we separate the declaration and assignment. All right, so we just set this all refactor. Okay, and then we extract method. Okay, so add participant to list view, right? Okay, parameters just refactor. Okay, so we have add participant to the list view. Okay, but I think this not gonna work because we need to have the instance of the DB helper inside the add participant to list view. So we just declare the DB helper here. DB helper, right? So that this DB helper we get the appropriate DB helper object that already instantiated. Okay, so we just put it inside here. Okay, and we also can call this in here. Okay, right. Let's test this. Okay, so I click a couple of times for this name to appear a couple of times. Okay, so just try this. Ali at gmail.com. Okay, save it, and then you can see Ali appear in here. Okay, so now we have create a method to insert into database and then to view from the database. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is to delete. Okay, delete from the database. So when we click here, we want to delete. Okay, and then we can save it again, and delete. All right. Okay. Okay, how to do it? How to do that? So we open the DB helper. Okay, so we have add, we have list, then we create another one to delete. Okay, so public boolean, because we want to return whether the deletion is successful or not. Okay, so delete one participant. So what to delete? So we have to supply the participant model to the as an argument. Okay. All right. So first one is to create the SQL database object db equal to this dot get writable because we want to delete, of course. And we have, of course, we need a query string. Okay, so put the SQL statement here. So the SQL statement is to delete from student table, delete from student table, sorry, not student table, it's participant. Okay, table participant. Okay, delete from table participant. Okay, make sure you have space and then where clause, where and then space again, and ID. Okay, so call ID equal to space again, and equal to, okay, and participant model, the object participant model dot get ID. Okay, so we get the ID and pass it, then we can delete it. All right, so after that we need a cursor, just like select statement for this. So cursor db.raw query. Okay, just put in the query string. and then the selection of it. Alright. Okay. So if the cursor is not empty, then it is true. So the deletion is completed. Okay. So if cursor dot move to first, okay, return true. Okay. Otherwise, return false. Right. So we need to call this from the list view. Okay, list view event. So list view dot on click. So create another event listener. Okay, this one for list view. So what is our new LV display? LV display dot set on item click listener. So when we click it, it will delete. Okay. So new on click. Sorry, new on item click listener. On item click listener. Alright. Okay. Right. So first, we call it the participant model to get the ID cost. So participant model equal to parent dot get item at position. Okay, so we want to see what item that the user have clicked, whether it is the first item, second item, or the third item. Okay, so we can put in the position here because we get the position from the event. Okay, right. So we get error because it's the required type will be participant model with provided object. So we need to convert it. So we just cast. Okay. So you'll be safe. All right. Okay. So and then we have to call the DB helper object. So DB helper dot delete one participant and put in the participant model beside that. And then after we delete, we need to call add participant to list view because we want to view updated after it is deleted. Okay. So sorry. So you just decide here. Just add participant to list view and then the DB helper. Alright. Okay. Maybe you can add some toast to indicate okay that it is completed. Delete success. Okay. Let's run it. Okay, let's click number 2, ID2. Okay, delete success. It's deleted from the list view and also from the database. Okay, You can add another. Okay. Save. Okay. Add here, and then we also can delete. Okay. So that's it for our video today. Thank you.